Hello, welcome. This is Tim's Maniac Sports, and hey, what you guys think about this Super Wild Card weekend, man? It ended up having quite a few surprises. A lot of teams ended up being contenders that was thought to not be. Some teams ended up being what we thought they were. You know, uh, and surprises. Uh, is it a surprise that actually going to be a great matchup for next week? Were the first team of the playoffs, the first winners, this week ends up hosting the Dallas Cowboys, who also have a blowout. So these two teams that actually had blowouts this weekend are going to be facing each other next week in San Francisco. And oh my God, that ought to be a game to watch. You know, for I know there's a lot of 49ers fans and I know there's a lot of Dallas Cowboy fans. So, yeah, hey Grandizers 12, how's it going? How's it going? Yeah. But hey man, your guy the Dolphins, OMG, they gave Buffalo all that they could handle. I mean they ended up with losing, but shoot, uh you guys' third string quarterback really, and that team played Buffalo hard and stuff like that. It really showed a lot of class in order to go ahead and Buffalo to, you know, take Buffalo to the end of the game to beat them. So, yep. Hey, it's Space Out Radio time. Yeah, that's for sure. Words are read wrong. I might get high on the. No, I don't get high. I'm joking. Uh, yes, we do own the night. We do own the night. Okay. So, hey, I'm looking at some pretty good matchups next week. I'm actually going to call the game of the week as far as what I'm thinking next week is going. You got to really look at the Dallas Cowboys going to San Francisco 49ers. I think that's going to be a game. And I'll tell you, there was a lot of speculation. You know, could Dak Prescott go ahead and actually lead the team into beating Tom Brady's Tom Brady's um, oh shoot uh, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I'll get that name right sometime. Yeah, we are talking about UFO over Canada. Oh, they are okay. They are talking about UFO in Space Out Radio. Yep, that's true. But I'll tell you what, I think somebody's feeling a little bit spaced out right now. And I'll tell you, Tom Brady, I heard the exit interview and stuff like that. And I'll tell you, classy as always. He wasn't no Aaron Rodgers. He went ahead and gave out the credit. He went ahead and, at least part of the interview, he went ahead and didn't cry about losing or anything like that. He just really showed class in that. So I did pick Dallas to win. Uh, I just thought that they were going to show up. Tampa Bay was not that good this year. If they would have been in any other division rather than the NFC South, which everyone in that everyone in that division had a losing record. It's just that they won one more game than the other, and hey, that happens sometimes. We have seen the AFC or the NFC East do the same thing and stuff like that. So I'm going to pose a question: should the NFL do what the NBA does? Get rid of the divisions and just go ahead and go by record. I don't know. And I'm not doing that for sour grapes because the Lions didn't get in. That's not what that's about at all. But I'm just saying that just because and it's just kind of bringing up a question, I mean, but we're talking about tradition here too, because the tradition has always been, that you have your four division winners, or when there were three divisions, go ahead and qualify for the playoffs. But is that outdated in a way? When a team that has a losing record, because you're in an awful division, you know, you end up making it and shouldn't. Now, there would have been something really wrong if Tampa Bay would have beat the Cowboys, in my opinion, because hey, Tampa Bay got it. They won the division. That's true, but their division was weak. So the blowout that we see was basically compared to actually the 49ers. Okay, the 49ers ended up facing the Seahawks, and they blew out the Seahawks too. Now, the Seahawks had one and a half more wins because of that tie than what Tampa Bay had. All right, so if you look at it, Seahawks scored a little bit more points, but the point differential was really close as far because of course 41-24 compared to um, 31-17, plus the kicker ended up losing, missing a lot of field goals and stuff like that. I unfortunately did not see the game because I was at work. I came right home from work. I was listening to the reports on the radio on the way home from work. So if there was any funny business as far as the refs or whatever, I cannot say. So this is just going what I was hearing from from ESPN and stuff like that. But in my opinion, is it time for the NFL? And this is just a question. I'm not really sure if I'm really for giving up on the divisions and stuff like that. But is it time to do that maybe, or at least look at it? Just go with a up and down schedule. And also, I would like to see them add 8 teams in each conference. I think 18. I think when you got a league that has 32 teams, all right. If you go ahead and this is just my opinion and stuff like that, but if you have a excuse, but if you have a league that has 32 teams, I think that if 16 teams in that whole league makes the playoffs, that's not too much to ask. You know, so I mean, what do you fans think? What what are your guys' opinions? All right, do you think that the NFL should add another playoff spot? Another thing I think, and I think that there should be 18 games. I think 17 games in a season is stupid, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. And once again, I think that you should have 18 game season. Um, that way, I mean, it's even. You have the same amount of home games as you do away games. And next year would be, but of course you gotta get that all worked out with the Players Association, and stuff like that. So, those are two things that I want to look at. I want to thank you guys who are watching me, who like and subscribe. Once again, I I do want to give a shout out to everybody made it close, except for the. And I'm not going to say that Detroit deserved it more than Seattle. I'm not going to say that. Okay. that Detroit would have made a better game than Seattle against the 49ers. Hey, last year 49ers beat the gave the Lions a spanking. We're a different team than we were last year, but I'm not doing any of this stuff, any of these questions to promote the Lions. Okay, as far as that, as far as not making, I have my thoughts and what I feel as far as for the game and stuff like that. Um, as far as the Seattle, I do think that the refs or that the NFL needs to get serious, and actually all sports need to get serious about getting their officiating better than what there is. And that was in all teams because this, it's outrageous some of the calls that you see. But this night is not about tonight. This is celebration of the team. Um, Buffalo showed some weaknesses. They were not, a lot of people thought they sh- they should have dominated, you know, um, the Dolphins. I mean, Josh Allen being starting quarterback. You know, uh, Once again, Dolphins had their third string quarterback. They were not as healthy as a team and stuff like that. And they gave the Dolphins everything that they could. So, like I say, congratulations to the Dolphins for giving the fight. And you know, you gotta also, and you gotta look at why I say teams need a reliable backup quarterback. Okay, because in two of the games that were played, last yesterday. Okay, you know, it ended up being, if you look at the Bengals versus the Ravens, all right, 24-17. All right. Lamar Jackson was not there. All right. Joe Burrows was there. All right. And barring a couple things going the Bengals' way, we could have had the Ravens actually upsetting, and not to take anything away from the Bengals, okay? We could have actually had seen the Ravens come up with a victory there. But hey, um, Giants, and if you also look at it, there was only two wild card teams that won. All right, and as far as in the yeah, there's actually only two wild card teams that won. The Giants beat the Vikings 31-24. All right. And of course, the Cowboys beat the Buccaneers. Actually, slaughtered the Buccaneers. Took them out to the woodshed and beat the living crap out of them. If you want to say that, you want to look at that. But hey, it congratulations, Cowboy fans. Congratulations to the Cowboys. For going ahead and doing that. So, what's your thoughts? I think in a lot of ways that the that Buffalo is darn lucky that Cincinnati's coming to town because they also showed some falters. And remember, last year it was Cincinnati was the ones that beat Buffalo. To no, actually they beat Kansas City to get into the playoffs or get into the Super Bowl. Actually, so we unfortunately did not get to see. Everybody knows that we didn't get why we didn't get to see uh, their regular season game between the two of them. But hey, I could see Cincinnati going ahead and defeating Buffalo. I could really see that, and I just want it to happen on the field. I don't want any BS, any ref BS. I don't want any excuses. Whoever wins that game, especially that game, I want it to be done on the field. I don't want it to be messed up. The NFL messing up in order to, decide the victory. And uh, I'll tell you what. I spent the whole weekend basically. I seen almost every game. Maybe not all throughout the whole thing. I would have watched if I wouldn't have had to work. I would have watched the Dallas game tonight, believe me. But there's no way I can see the Dallas game at work because they don't allow us to really have our phones on the floor. And I work in a food production area, so it just is what it is. Another thing I want to do is thank everybody. Thank you guys for coming and watching the Tim's Maniac Sports. Uh, and I want to congratulate all the winners and anybody who qualified for the playoffs. Uh, if you want to look at Seattle, uh, there was no sour grapes for Seattle from me making the playoffs because hey, Seattle did beat us. They beat the Lions, so it wasn't when we were, I mean, hey, so they legitly won. You know, if you, if you look at it that way, except for cause, and I'm not going to say that, but they had a better record than we did. So that's that's just the way it is. Actually, the same record, but they beat us in the tiebreaker. So because they beat us head to head, and that is one of the reasons why you play these games so that it figures out ties. So um, it's just too bad that the Lions needed to go ahead and get take so long this season in order to start winning. Uh, but it is what it is. So I'm just going to go ahead and yeah you know I'm going to go ahead and read off the scores. You know, and as everybody knows, I do have trouble staying awake all the time. So 49ers outscored Seahawks 25-6 in the second half, avenging a advancing to the divisional round with a 41-23 win over Seattle. That was the recap. Okay, Chargers and of course 49ers are the 2 seed and Seahawks were the 7 seed of the playoffs. Chargers number 5 seed versus the number 4 seed. At Jacksonville. Recap: Jaguars came back from a stunning 31-30. Came back for a 31-30 win over the Chargers. And like I said, the day of the game, that was a tale of two halves, because Jacksonville threw Trevor Lawrence threw 3 interceptions in the first half, and they capitalized, but it was a totally different team in that second half. And Chargers, if I remember right, was only able to score like 3 points in that second half. So that's really, really meant something. All right. Bills 34-31. Bills survived to beat the Dolphins, advance to the divisional round. Okay, and that's basically it. They survived. They, like I said, some different things would have went their way, one way or another. We could be seeing and of course the Dolphins were 7 seeds, Bills were 2 seed. Uh, you know, um, so we could have seen the Dolphins actually going to, of course, if they would have won, they would have went to Kansas City. But Bills winning, they host the Bengals. Okay, Giants and okay, I actually picked the Vikings to win. Okay, because I was thinking the Vikings were going to go ahead and actually, with all the negative press that they were getting, I was thinking the Vikings were going to go ahead and actually try to prove everybody wrong and stand up and do a bit better than what they did. Even though it was a close game, uh, the Vikings really didn't have the lead after that first touchdown. They might have tied it once, but Giants hold off Vikings 31-24 to advance to Philadelphia next weekend. So the of course the Giants were the 6th seed, so they go to Philadelphia, uh, and they beat the number 3 seed. You know, uh, the number 6 seed Ravens versus the number 3 seed Bengals. All right. The final score being Bengals 24, Ravens 27. Uh, Bengals survived to advance to play the Bills, defeating the Ravens 24-17. So, hey, it's just what it is. Um, and of course, Monday Night Football, Dak Prescott threw 4 TDs as the Cowboys overpowered Tom Brady's Bucks. So this exactly what happened. And they went ahead and they overpowered. So hey, thank you guys for coming and checking out Tim's Maniac Sports. Please like and subscribe. Let me know what you think about the show. Also, let me know what you think about this weekend and next weekend. What game do you think was the game of the week? Uh, do you think that do you like close football games or do you like blowouts? I know there's some people that really like that close football. You don't know who's going to win to the end. And then there's some people who sometimes you just like to go ahead and see, especially if it's your team, you want to go ahead and see that team go ahead and uh, trounce on your opponent and just go ahead and whip the living crap out of somebody, the other team. So me, I kind of like it both sometimes. All right, but being a Lions fan, I'll tell you, so many times the close games doesn't work if you're the Lions. At least in the past, they haven't because it's just that Lions have in the past tended to lose close games because there's some's been caused, some's been bad cause, some's been stuff that they have done wrong. So, you know, I'm more, and especially if it's Green Bay or Minnesota or Chicago, I like to see them open up a can of maniac and whip the team's butt. That's what I like to see. But there was something to actually see when you actually stop Aaron Rodgers when he holds the ball last, like in our first game with with um with the Packers this year, on how Aaron Rodgers had the ball last, as far as, and could not get it done. So so the close games can be exciting. And actually, in order to arrive to being a good team, you need to be able to win the close games, and that's what they have been able to do. Giants actually ended up getting more healthy when they played the Vikings. Vikings, yeah, and I'm not saying that the Vikings did not deserve to win the NFC North. I'm not saying that at all. If you know, they actually beat us one time only, but they had a much better record than the Lions did. So, they deserved it, you know? So they ended up being kind of opposite as far as what, you know, the Lions were when, they started out strong and stuff like that. Then in the middle of the season, it kind of weakened a little bit. And then actually, the last couple games, they went kind of back and forth as far as in some of the stuff, So I hear, I was listening to a couple of the Viking stuff, and man, are they calling for Kirk Cousins' head, you know? But what happens if you get this quarterback, you know, and get a different quarterback, and he's not as good as Kirk Cousins. Plus, you need to be able to work with your team, get acquainted. So, are you guys ready to go ahead and actually take that time to grow? You know, and also, you know, do you get somebody from the draft, or do you to replace Kirk Cousins, or do you get somebody that's a free agent? You know, Ravens quarterback might not be in Baltimore next year. So I mean, I'm just saying, not that I want the not that I want Minnesota to get in better, you know, because hey, they're rivals too. I'm always going to be a Lions fan, but when I created Tim's Maniac Sports, I didn't name it Tim's Maniac Lions Sports for a reason. I want it to be open to everybody. All right. And so if anybody from any other team wants to be classy and post stuff on Tim's Maniac Sports YouTube, my page, you can do that about your team. One rule is I don't want to see a lot of profanity. And also, if you guys want to join in and talk about your team on my channel, that's fine. This is one thing that I want to grow this channel. I want to and I want this channel to be for the fans. For the fans, not only for the Lions fans, but for the Green Bay fans. Yeah. Okay, I can't believe I used them first, but for any fan of any sport, so this is something that I'm I really want to open up, and I want to figure out how I can get to the Super Bowl one year, because I'll tell you that's been on my bucket list. I want to be able to go to the Super Bowl one time. Wayland Yachts Building Better Words. Okay. Thank you, Grandizer 12. Okay. And I'm going to go back and read what the matchups are for next week. All right. So, okay, next week. Okay. So, of course, I already said this. Yeah, I was hoping I could actually see them kind of like, but I'll just try to go off, man. So we all know that the Jaguars they go to Kansas City at Kansas City. Uh, so I don't know. Are we going to get the Jaguars? I don't see them being able to beat Kansas City if they go ahead and they fall behind like they did against Buffalo. So Jacksonville's going to really need to play a full 60 minutes of it. Uh Giants at the Eagles. This is going, these two teams know each other real well. Of course, number one, being a divisional matchup. Uh, yeah, I definitely got to give the edge to, you know, I got to give the edge to the Eagles. Just because they're the number one seed. But who knows? Sometimes setting out that week, and the Giants being the hot team and stuff like that. But they're both from the AFC or NFC North or NFC East, excuse me. So but I'm giving that to the Eagles, but I don't see it being a blowout or anything. Uh, Bengals versus the Bills. You know, um, that I could see either team winning, because they both had trouble beating each other. You know, so I could, or they both had trouble. They both won the games, but they both were not dominating winning the game, and they both lost to. Both had their starting quarterbacks, and they both had trouble with backup quarterbacks, and they were expected to really be own these games, and they did. Uh, Bengals versus the Bills. Yeah, that's one that I just said. Cowboys number 5 versus the 49ers. If you ask any Cowboy fan, you know, Cowboy fans are so boisterous because, hey, I'll tell you, not that they're better than any other fan or anything like that, but it's just that there's a lot of there's a lot of Cowboy fans, and they've been biting at the bit for so much. If any team, I mean, and you're at this, if any team can give the 49ers problems, and if the Cowboys play at their best, I can see it happening, maybe upset or close game. But the 49ers, my God, the 49ers, even though they are the second seed in the NFC, they have been being looked at as being the toughest and should be as far as being the toughest team, and they know how to take it to task. Hey, they're on their third string quarterback. He's been awesome, as far as in stepping in and actually, Purdy's been Purdy. So Purdy against Prescott, uh, and you also got to look at even last year. Last year, Garoppolo and them went ahead and gave the LA Rams last one heck of a game in the NFC Championship. So I don't know. I got to give the edge to the 49ers just because it's at the 49ers and because it's how the 49ers have been playing. But I don't expect it to be a cakewalk. All right. So I hope everybody's enjoying this. And thank you guys. Please like, share, subscribe. Tell your friends about it. Tell your friends about my Facebook too. Just go, as far as for my Facebook room, I actually have two of them. I have the Facebook page and I have Facebook room. Uh, uh, the my room is Maniac Sports, and of course my page is Tim's Maniac Sports. So go ahead, check those things out. I would appreciate it. Like, subscribe, leave your questions, and or leave comments. Who, have your friends leave comments as far as what they think, who they think is their team, and actually in weeks to come, I want to hear comments on who you guys want to see your team to draft. Because we have the draft. What free agent, do you want? That's what we're really going to look at after the playoffs are all done and stuff like that. You know, I also want your guys' picks for next week. Do you think that I'm way off base on some of these, or do you think that, hey, a lot of these teams are going to be close? You know, um, basically what you think. And of course, everybody, I want you guys to pick your guys' maniac player of the season in the regular season, who you think deserves that honor. All right. Uh, and I also want you guys to pick up, the maniac player of after everything is done. Uh, during playoffs are all done and stuff like that. But how can you guys improve? You know, how can your team be improved? How can the NFL improve? And I'll tell you, how can refereeing, how can the NFL and other sports go ahead and change it so much so that we actually get the integrity of the NFL, for the NFL or for all sports, how integrity is it to win? We have gotten from, and you know actually in some ways, as far as winning has became so important to a lot of teams that, you know, sometimes you just don't do what is, what was considered the right thing at times before. Because when you know that interception was not really an interception, or that catch was not really a catch, or was ruled a, is do you think that it's the right thing to do as far as going ahead and I mean, being strategically it's the right thing to do to go ahead and get that play so it can't be reversed afterwards if the catch was ruled a catch and uh it was actually not a catch, or if it was ruled a drop, because we seen a couple calls were changed, where uh where it was ruled wrongly on the field, and stuff like that. So, and what do you guys think about? Do you think that it should be an 18-game season? Uh, and what do you guys think? Do you think that there should be 16 teams that qualify for the playoffs, but 8 per each conference? You know, then of course you would have the you would go back to the two buys. First and second seed would get the bye, and eighth team would end up playing the first week. Or you could just go ahead and not get, I don't know. But I just want to know your thoughts on it. Um, leave comments. But and I'll tell you what, are we going to see? Is this going to be Tom Brady's last game? Is this going to be Aaron Rodgers' last game? What? Where do those two? The two quarterbacks that are older that have been in the league for quite a while. Tom is a bit older than Aaron Rodgers and stuff like that, but does Tom have is how important is football to him? And I'll tell you what, do you think Minnesota Vikings? You guys don't want you guys don't like Kirk Cousins, okay? Would you rather have Tom Brady? I don't see Aaron Rodgers going there. although, although you guys did, Minnesota did get did end up getting Brett Favre after he got caught by Green Bay. So hey, so I more or less would see him at. And hey, what would Aaron Rodgers do? If he went. I mean, I know Tom Brady has. There's been saying that Tom Brady may be going to the 49ers next year and stuff like that. You know, I don't know. And of course, Denver may still be looking for a quarterback. You're also looking at the Raiders. The Raiders are looking for a quarterback. Somebody who can go ahead and get them over that hump because Carr, they have lost faith in Carr. Oh, and another thing is, okay, I want Dallas Cowboys fans to really look at this. Yes, your kicker was horrible this game. Definitely. But I was at a Lions game. It was probably about 3 years ago. And Cobb was the kicker back then too, and he missed like 4 kicks. So there's one horrible game, especially a playoff game. I mean, the one was in a playoff game that Cobb was in for the Packers. But there's one horrible game. Does that guy deserve to lose his job for that one game when he had or was his season good enough forgetting that game or forgetting what happened this game? What do you Cowboys fans think? And I would like to even hear as far as what, I mean, hey, we were all thinking that Cobb was going to get cut after from Green Bay after he had that horrible outing against the Lions, and where we actually beat Green Bay that game at back then too. So, all right. But I think I am going to pretty much end this show for tonight. I want to thank everybody. Please like, subscribe, leave your comments. I will try to look at them more. I'll always be a Lions fan. Always be a Lions fan. But I'm also looking to expand my channel. I'm looking to expand it to more teams. So if anybody wants to partner up with me as far as and stuff like that, I would appreciate it. I do actually got 2 YouTube channels. One is Tim's Maniac Sports. One is Maniac Sports. I might go ahead and revive the Maniac Sports and use that for other ones, and just use this one more for Lions. But I'm not exactly sure if I'm going to do that. But and hey, this one of these years, I definitely want to make it to a Super Bowl. Uh, and I want to start actually going and doing things live at different venues, you know. Uh, so that's my dream. My dream is to go to different sports venues, interview live fans about your teams, give you the chance to smack talk, you know. But I'm going to say good night for today. This is Maniac Tim. You know what? Okay. All right. Hey, 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 hey. All right, aliens. Aliens and space cadets. Wow. Uh, music. Thank you guys. Thank you, Grandizer 12. Thank you for all your support. Um, really appreciate it. Hey, everybody, don't ever forget the people in your chat because I'll tell you what, they are the ones. Anybody who listens to you, anybody who goes ahead and sets that chat up, goes ahead and backs you up, they deserve credit. You know, my best friend, he may no longer be with us, but one of the things he always frustrated, and I'll tell you what, I was a little frustrated yesterday. You know, as far as in after the Minnesota game, I tried getting on a chat and stuff like that with watching some Minnesota and Giants and stuff like that, and I posted a couple of things in their chat, and no, I didn't listen to them for a long time, to be fair, but nothing was ever said. So just go ahead and really remember, appreciate the people that take your time out of their schedule to listen to you. All right. So go Lions, go NFL, one pride. Bring out the beast in you. This is Tim's Maniac. This is Tim's Maniac. This is, yeah, that's my other half. Okay. Uh, this is Maniac Tim saying good night. Enjoy your day. Can't wait for some football. Fortunately, I got to work next weekend on Saturday, so I'll probably miss the Saturday games. Uh, but thank you guys. And if the aliens can go ahead and figure out a way to help the Lions to win, more power to it. All right. Till next time, this is Maniac Tim telling everybody good night.